Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 144 of our Let's Grow annual challenge. Today we're talking about identity, who we think we are, and mental growth. Now, identity is something, and I've got a season sweater on today because it reminds me that seasons change and so does our identity. I don't think that our identity is fluid, like who I thought I was and who I believed I was, what my identity was when I was 3 and 10 and 15 and 21 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60. And yeah, now at 64, my identity has changed and morphed over the decades as I have grown and learned and gotten more in touch with who I really am and how I want to show up in the world. So today our topic is, and our action item is, to share in one sentence your current identity. Now, our current identity is seldom who we really want to be, right? And how we want to show up in the world and how we want the world to see us. But let's be brutally honest with ourselves today and in one sentence. And if you're brave, share your sentence, but you don't have to. I haven't done mine yet because I just decided it would be one sentence that we use to describe our identity today. And how do we go about figuring out who that is? If you've never thought about who you are, you just start living your life and going along, then you're probably living more authentically than the vast majority of people on the planet, meaning you show up every day as who you are and you're in the present moment and you're paying attention and you're actually living your life. That's a very rare thing for most human beings. Most of us are either dwelling on the past, worried about the future, fretting about the current situation, and that we don't feel like we have any control over what we can do about it. So what are some ways we can identify what our current identity is? And then I'd say if you want to take it a step further today, identify the identity you want, your ideal identity. What is your ideal version of yourself and how can you create that? Because like anything else, as soon as we identify where we are and where we want to be, it creates this gap, and our subconscious helps us to start filling that gap and move us into being the person that we want to be, the ideal identity of ourselves. So how do we find out what our identity is? Well, self-reflection. We spend some quiet time thinking about and paying attention to who we actually are. I always need a magnifying glass. That is my identity. I can't see very well. So we want to cultivate an awareness of who the heck we are. We want to be mindful. We can practice mindfulness and do different mindfulness practices. We can meditate. We can breathe. We can have some quiet time out on a park bench or in our car or in nature or on our front porch or wherever to just think and have some calm, quiet moments. Some of our lives are more chaotic than others, and I really savor my quiet moments, my walks in the park. Secondly, we want to set clear goals and objectives. We want to know where we are right now and where we want to go, right? That's part of all last year. Every single day we worked on goals and goal setting. This year, we're working on growth in all the different areas and aspects of our life. And part of mental growth is saying, who the heck am I and who do I want to be? That's your identity. Then finally, we want to embrace growth mindset. And we talked about growth mindset a little bit, but basically we want to be optimistic. We want to open ourselves up to the possibility and realize and believe with 100% certainty that whatever we choose, whatever feels right for us, whatever we want, we can create and we can become that version of ourselves. We're always changing. Every day we're a slightly different version of ourselves. We're at least older. If nothing else changes, we're at least getting older, which I say beats the alternative. So in the Guide 2 of the Let's Grow Annual Challenge private Facebook group page, we use Napoleon as an example, and I asked ChatGPT to do someone named Napoleon, and it actually gave me Napoleon Bonaparte with respect to identity, and it was kind of interesting. So that's in Guide 2, along with a little write-up about identity. But what are we doing today? We are going to share a one-sentence statement about, or we're going to write down a one-sentence statement about our current identity, right? Me, well, I haven't done mine yet, but I'm a grandma, I'm a mom, I'm divorced, but I like to leave that out because who cares? I'm single. I like that. Somebody told me when you've been divorced a while, you can just say you're single. You don't have to say you're divorced. But then you have to explain, why do I have kids and grandkids? You don't have to explain anything because your identity is whatever you want it to be. So, one sentence identity, share if you're brave. I will figure mine out and share mine. I haven't done it yet, obviously. That's all I've got today. Any questions? Ask, ask, ask. I will say that till I turn blue. Not that my identity is a Smurf, but you understand what I mean. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Think about your identity today.